It's a representative of corporate America anyway. That's what the presidency is.
Yeah, I think that's right.
David, it seems like the deck nowadays, half of the cards in it is the race card, apparently.
Yeah, increasingly all the time. Yeah, and it's a diversion. It's another smoke screen among many smoke screens. Just a diversion and just something to keep your eye off the ball. Well, guys.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I mean, they're seeing a backlash against the Obama administration, so they got to do something. They bring out the race card and put out the puppet Jimmy Carter. If you'd like to stay with us during the break, hang on, and we'll be back here on the Real News in 3 minutes.
Okay, Sam.
Vehicle and a real live fire engine, and it's all free. Come be entertained.
Rate is 11%. State-supported community colleges are in place to better educate and train citizens so they can get jobs. But instead, the North Carolina Community College Board wants to help educate illegal immigrants is Tyler starting college this fall. The colleges were packed because everyone's out of work, and it's a good thing to do when there's no jobs, I guess, is to find a different field or whatever. But I actually had to transfer because couldn't go to a local college, had to go to one 300 miles away. And so our community colleges are packed. And what is the buffoons in charge want to do but allow illegal aliens to go to college, thus packing it further so that the American people, those of us that are here, law-abiding citizens, are yet again forced to compete with them to go to our own colleges that we fund and pay for.
They should make it a law, actually, so American citizens can no longer go to college. You have to be illegal. I mean, that's what's next, isn't it?
It seems like the inmates have taken over the asylum. There's no common sense in apparently local, state, or federal government. I urge everyone that's listening to this broadcast to run for local, state, or federal government positions. We need, everyone that's in needs to be out, apparently, maybe a clean slate and a start over, because this kind of ridiculous information like this, these buffoons, these dimwits that are in charge of our community colleges, how do they justify this as any kind of a common sense? The illegal aliens, your community colleges, as you well know, are state-funded, taxpayer-funded. That's why tuition is as inexpensive as it is. So we, the taxpayers, those of us that are still working so that half the people don't have to work, are going to be forced to allow illegal immigrants to get an education on our dime. I mean, it just, there's no end to the madness, people.
I went to community college years ago, and, I had to struggle through it just like everybody else, had to pay for it, deal with, a few hours of sleep here and there, but that's something, it's part of your progression through life. It's just something you have to deal with, folks.
Where did this originate, and why has it become so palatable that those that break our laws and come to our country illegally, remember the first word and the term that we relate to describe them is illegal alien or illegal immigrant. They are here illegally, and if we've all forgot, that means breaking the law, that they deserve to have welfare and Social Security and free education and free health care all on our dime. It boggles my mind. Is black white now? Is red blue? Is it up down? I mean, what's going on?
It's like that's one of the goals of the New World Order, to switch things around so we get to the point we're so confused we don't know which way is up or down, or so we'll believe anything that's thrown out there. Just, okay, well, we're so confused that, down is up and left is right. We don't know what's going on anymore. So whatever you guys say, that's the way it is, and we'll just accept it, lick your boots.
Yeah, we're so liberal, we're so goody-goody, so we're such pacifists that everybody deserves a free ride. And only those few of us that are still foolish enough to try to work here in America and pay 50 to 60% of every dollar we make so that the money can be wasted on ridiculous stuff like this, the ones of us that still try to hold down jobs, even though the bureaucrats and the politicians just waste it willfully every chance they get, we're getting sick and tired of this. Maybe everybody in America ought to just quit work. Everybody just say, hey, we'll all be on food stamps. We'll all get welfare. We'll all get free health care. We'll just go to the emergency room like the illegal aliens do, and someone's supposed to pay for it. I don't know who if no one works anymore.
Or Soviet Union. Oh, wait a minute. I guess, since it's foreign or doesn't exist anymore, maybe it didn't work out.
Well, we see more and more of this, and the American people, anyone you talk to is opposed to this. But what we've got here is those that we elect to represent us don't give a darn about the will or the common sense of the American people anymore. It's just a free-for-all, free for everybody, free ride for everybody except the middle-class, hard-working, tax-paying American. He's the one that gets the shaft every time without fail. And until and like we've said before, it's our own fault for letting our government get in this kind of shape. Until we take this country back, I guess continue to expect to see this kind of ridiculous legislation coming out, not only in North Carolina, we'll usually lead the way, but in all the other states around the Union and the federal government as well.
Was it Karl Marx or was it Lenin that said eventually the entire planet would be under a system similar to communism?
Yeah, and the Barack Obama administration is taking gigantic steps to fulfill that prognostication, is he not?
He's doing a good job.
Well, this came out this past week. Washington Supreme Court upholds forced DUI blood draws. Washington Court allows forced blood draws from anyone accused of drunk driving. Like most states, Washington used an implied consent statute to punish anyone who refuses to submit to a breathalyzer test upon being accused of drunk driving. In a ruling last Thursday, the Supreme Court upheld the right of police to use force to remove blood from motorists even after an informed decision to refuse the test had been made. So, of course, we all are against drunk driving. That goes without saying. But here we're seeing legislation where the troopers or the police can actually hold you down by force and extract blood from your body.
One of the key words in this, again, you always have to read between the lines and try to, exercise some critical thought, which, of course, is about non-existent anymore, but suspect of DWI. Who's the judge of that? The officer?
Yeah, the officer can make the decision. You're a suspect. You've not been proven guilty in a court of law or anything, but you can be forcibly held down and blood removed from your body. Well, of course, when you veil this in DWI, it sounds good. It's kind of like when you've got an educational lottery. It's not the abortion lottery. It's the educational lottery. It makes it palatable because we all agree drunk driving is a very bad problem. But then it can move precipitously into some other area, such as forced inoculations, forced vaccinations, or what have you. So it's the first step, but not the last. That's what makes it scary.
Patriot Act, right? It sounds great. We always go into that Patriot Act. Why wouldn't you vote for that, right?
Yeah, are you unpatriotic? You're not a patriot? You want to be a patriot? Vote for the Patriot Act. Don't read the bill. None of us do. But, then you read it later, or you find out, or you don't care, whatever the case may be, you find out that you're taking away the constitutional rights of the American people in one gigantic broad step.
Not that we had them anyway.
We're going to be going into that next hour. I know that a lot of people have had mixed feelings on this segment that we've been doing for the last 3 weeks. We've got 3 more weeks of it if you count today. Constitution, the search for the truth. I'm saying that the Constitution's in suspension until someone shows me different.
Now, this is actually a broadcast from Phoenix, Arizona. Was it 1993?
1994. We'll lead off with that. When we start next hour, we'll do a little background on it, a little bit of how we come into the possession of it, because it is very interesting. I hope everyone will look into it, and like I say, you can believe whatever you want to. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I wouldn't presume to tell you what to believe. I'm just giving you different information, and you can think through it, you can look into it, you can research it, and you're welcome to believe whatever you can glean from it, what have you. But tell us our guest Monday night, Brian. We've got just a couple minutes before we go to break.
Ellen Brown, she's the author of a book called Web of Debt, which is all about the illegal criminal Federal Reserve systems. I mean, she's authored many books. She was an attorney in the Los Angeles area. She's lived all over the world, Kenya, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua. So, I mean, she's got a lot of expertise. She's done an excellent job with this book, Web of Debt. She's always